everybody. Welcome to the Hallmarkies podcast. We are so excited to be here today. We hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we are here to talk about one of the most anticipated films of the year from Hallmark Channel. We're talking about the Nine Kittens of Christmas. It's going to be so fun. I am film critic Rachel Wagner, and Cammie's here.
Hi, everybody. Happy
And
Thanksgiving / Merry Christmas.
Yes, and Jess is here.
Hello, everybody. Meowie Christmas.
Oh my gosh, you did not.
I couldn't resist in the spirit of this movie.
Yes, we don't normally do single movie recaps, but this one was so anticipated that we thought it was worth doing. And I guess we should start out saying our sort of feelings for the original Nine Lives of Christmas, if it's one of our favorites, or what do you think overall about the original?
About the original?
Yes.
I love the original. I think it was hilarious, so cute, and they had great chemistry. And, you know, we don't often see a movie about cats. You know, there's usually a dog in the movie, and I'm a cat person, so
You don't
I just love that it was a movie about cats.
Yes. And you have your own cats, correct?
Yeah, I have one kitten, Elliot. He's I think he's like 9 months old now, maybe. But actually the best part was when the movie started yesterday or last night. As soon as it started, he jumped in my lap and started cuddling. And I was like, he knew it was a movie about kittens.
That's so cute. Yes. Cammie, what about you? What's your feelings of the original?
I adore the original. I'm not a cat person, and it completely won me over. I thought the two of them were great. I thought the story was great. I thought their chemistry was great. I thought the ins and outs of the plot were great. And yeah, I absolutely adore the original. And so Jess has her Elliot story of him jumping into her lap when she was watching. When I was watching, my youngest son comes in with his fire hat on. So
everyone was on theme.
Yeah.
Everybody was very on theme.
Yeah, the original, I really enjoy it. It's really fun. I don't know if it necessarily would be in my top favorite Hallmark movies, but I still really like it. It's definitely really solid, and I see why it's a favorite. I think that they do have really good chemistry, and the cats are really cute. And I agree with you, Jess, that we just don't get that many cat movies, so it is somewhat refreshing to have a cat have cats be the focus is fun.
Sorry, if I could just interject really quick. The other thing that I really like about the original is that it fleshes out side characters. You know, it's not just, these people are here for decoration and we're focused on these two. I mean, you've got her sister and her sister's husband. You've got the fire chief played by Gregory Harrison to perfection. You know, just you've got a lot of side people who really build up the story, who give good backstory, and it makes it a very complete movie as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think the girlfriend is a little over the top.
Well, of course, yeah,
but that was
supposed to be.
But that was the era of Hallmark at the time. That was kind of what they did. So you wouldn't see that anymore from Hallmark. But yeah, it's a really cute movie, and I think it's a really good kind of gateway Hallmark movie. If people are asking what's one I should watch, that if I'm haven't really watched very many Hallmark movies, I think it's a really safe recommendation that almost anybody would enjoy. So
interesting, safe recommendation.
That I don't know, I just feel like it's really likable. I think almost anybody would enjoy it. So so then they have this sequel, The Nine Kittens of Christmas, that they announced, and it was fun because we have been from the very start of our podcast, we have been kind of promoting the idea of a sequel to the Nine Lives of Christmas. We even had a shirt in our merch store. We called it the 10 Lives of Christmas. But yeah, we have a design in the merch store done by the Hallmark that we've had for years up there. And we interviewed Kimberly Sested in 2018, and we talked to her about it, about doing the sequel. And so it's kind of a fun it's kind of come full circle. We finally got it. And you can thank all of us, because of course they listened to us.
We were the biggest influencers.
That's right.
We talked to Gregory about it. And we talked to Gregory about it this past summer on Deliver Me a podcast.
Oh, you did?
And
yeah.
He kind of, if you'll pardon the expression, he kind of let the cat out of the bag. He said, guess what? We're doing a sequel to Nine Lives of Christmas. And we were all just like, yay!
Yeah. So, and when we talked to Kimberly, she said that people would come up to Brandon Routh like at cons and stuff all the time and talk to him about the Nine Lives of Christmas. And
really,
yeah, he said it all the time. And our old co-host Amber, she, I guess at one point actually brought because she was a huge fan of this movie, and she at a Fan X here in Salt Lake, I guess he was there, and she brought a like stuffed cat to take the picture. She took a picture with like a stuffed animal cat, like Ambrose, and because Amber was a big cat person. She has a bunch of cats. So anyway, it's a movie that people have been really interested in, and like we've talked quite a bit about on the podcast. So it's sort of fun. And the plot was, the little plot summary is Zachary and Marilee are thrown back together at Christmas when they're tasked with finding homes for a litter of adorable kittens. So, Cammie, overall, what did you think of this movie?
Overall, I liked it. I did not love it because this is the hopeless romantic in me. I thought it kind of canceled out the first movie. You know, I wanted them to still be together. It really threw me when I saw the previews. I'm like, wait a second, hold it. Are they not together? So it kind of canceled out the journey that they took. Not entirely, of course, because they still had the history and they still built off of that. But I just went, hold it. So that there was just a little too much of a separation for me in this movie. I wanted more happy together couple time. So yeah, that's me. But yeah. I still thought that, you know, if I'm talking about it as a standalone movie, I thought it moved well. I thought it progressed well. They still kept the side characters very involved and fleshed out their stories. There were, you know, talking as a sequel, there's the romance aspect, and there were a couple of tiny little inconsistencies, but nothing that made me go. So overall, I liked it.
What about you, Jess? What did you think overall?
Yeah, I think I'm in a very similar opinion to Cammie. I think they took a really big risk having them start off not together, and I'm just not 100% sure that risk paid off for me. I'd say about halfway through the movie, once we got to that firehouse kiss, which I'm sure we will get to, I was like, okay, I'm on board now. Like, yes, we're good. And then I really started to enjoy it. I just think, like Cammie said, like I wanted more happy couple time, and it was just hard for me to wrap my brain around them like not being together and so much tension between them of like that kind. So yeah, but I did enjoy it overall.
So strong. They were so strong at the end, and I'm just like, how? You know?
Yeah, because there's the whole like mountain lion comparison in the original. Yeah, I agree. I think that was a mistake. I was kind of anticipating that I wouldn't love that because it says it in the summary, thrown back together. I was like,
Yeah.
and I don't know why Hallmark always seems to do this when you have a sequel that it's like, well, you got to have them either break up in the course of the movie or they are broken up. When there's plenty that you can do with a couple that's just a couple. Like, why not just have them be married and have them finding people for these kittens? Like, why do they have to be broken up? Like, I feel like you can tell a good story about them as a married couple with maybe a kid or two. Like, I don't know. I just don't think that you need to have that be part of the conflict in order for it to be a good movie.
Yeah, I feel like they could have been together, and the conflict could have been him like having some trouble being ready to make that next step, because it is in character with him. He does have trouble with change.
Yeah,
but I think they could have still been together, and so we could have had more happy moments, but they still kind of have that tension of he's not quite ready to go there.
Yeah, or maybe he's not ready to have, we could have him not ready to have a baby or something, like it could be, there's lots of different conflict that couples go through. Like,
you don't have to have them broken up. Yeah.
So I do think that was a mistake. The movie did win me over by the end. I was pretty not into it for the first part. But yeah, pretty much the sort of the kiss was great. And then I don't know, pretty much the last third of it kind of started to win me over. And then by the end, and the proposal was great. And we'll talk more about that, but it did win me over. But yeah, it wasn't, I know it's a tough, I told people in the preview, I said, moderate your expectations. Like if that's possible. And so I tried to.
I did go into it knowing like it's probably not going to be as great as Nine Lives, because I just love that movie, and it's like, well, it's probably not going to exceed that at the very least.
Yeah.
That one was so good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what is my favorite. I should have written this down before, but my favorite Hallmark sequel, probably, I don't know, one of my favorites is probably the Gift to Remember.
I was just gonna say that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you love that one.
Because they didn't break them up. Topher did such a good job with that script.
Yeah, that one was a fantastic sequel. The Perfect Wedding with Kevin and Pascal. That's a good sequel.
Yeah, I like that better than the original, actually. I do. I like that better because it didn't have that horrible fiance. So it starts out you see Ambrose, and it was a new cat, but it was pretending to be Ambrose because it's been so long. But then they have the picture of Queenie, that Queenie had passed, and that was very sweet. That whole thing, remembering.
Yeah,
Queenie.
doing a whole homage to her kind of thing.
They must have just not been able to find a cat that looked close enough, because she had a pretty distinct look.
She was probably harder. Orange cats are easy to come across.
Or maybe they could find a cat and they just decided to make it part of the story.
Maybe it was sweet though. I liked that. And you see her in Miami. I mean, it was kind of shocking that they start out with her kissing the boyfriend, Miles.
Oh, I know. I was like, oh, wait. It's one thing to have them broken up, but yikes.
So yeah, like they seemed very happy in that moment, and I was like, no.
And there was like the weird glamour shot Christmas card thing. I was
like, they're not even, they're more than just dating, they're serious. They have a Christmas card.
Right.
Yeah.
They've been dating for multiple years.
And they they co-own or run the clinic together.
Yeah,
they co-own it.
Yeah,
they did, I think, handle the emotional cheating kind of aspect pretty well, because they had her break up pretty early in the movie, and so you didn't feel like there wasn't that awkwardness like with 5 More Minutes, which I really didn't like, where you have it coming through is sort of hanging over the whole movie. It's like, why is she doing this to this perfectly nice person? That they have her break up pretty quick with him.
I thought that was a very smart move.
Her reasoning, it was a smart move. Her reasoning was a tiny bit off. It seemed like she was throwing it at him very unexpectedly.
I think if they had made them a little more like at first scene, because they look so happy, if they had made that a little more like her being uncertain, it would have flowed a little nicer.
Yes, exactly. If they had made them more of a reluctant couple, then that wouldn't have seemed to come out of left field. Like that's very unsteady reasoning.
Yeah, it was pretty much just I'm breaking up with you because I want to move back home. It was pretty much
and you don't want to be here, you know. when she said, I want you to want to be here, like, oh gosh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why did they really explain why she ended up in Miami?
She took an internship.
Oh, that's right.
And it was right when things were starting to go off the deep end with Zachary, and she said that she was hoping that the internship in Miami would be a wake-up call for him, but instead it ended the relationship, so she just stayed, finished her residency, and opened up a practice. And
they dated for, I think, 2 years, they say, I believe. They dated for 2 years.
Something like that, yeah.
2 years, and then he wasn't ready, to commit. He was like, oh, where things are great the way things are. We don't need to commit.
Classic Peter Pan.
Yeah. which does actually feel authentic to his character, because he was very hesitant to get in a relationship because his parents had a bad relationship. So him being like, well, things are fine the way they are, I can understand that with his character.
I can too, but the way that they made this huge deal of him moving past that to make a commitment to her, that's the part I'm like, wait a minute, dude, didn't we already go through this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. So then we have her, they have the kind of meet cute with him dressed as an elf, which was fun.
Sam, we talked about this.
They still have really great chemistry. Would you agree, Jess?
Yes, I would definitely.
Yeah. And then he finds the box of kittens,
which were so cute.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I
gotta wonder about that poor, like the trying to shoot those scenes, the kittens like trying to like leap out of the box, like that would have been so challenging.
Oh yeah, I would love to talk to Kimberly and find out what it was like to make this movie with all of these kittens.
How many of those shots, I wonder, were potential bloopers, but they just kept them in because they were so lifelike.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder if they had multiple like Rudolphs or like they had. But yeah, I mean those were very, very pretty kittens for strays.
Yeah, and they have like one of every coat color.
Right.
We never find out where they came from.
No,
that
we don't.
Was the other weird thing. It just somebody left them at the firehouse. We never find out how a box of 10 kittens, how a box of 9 10-week-old kittens. There we go. We never found out why there was a box of them left at the firehouse.
Yeah. There were some funny lines though. I liked when they said that I liked that his flyer looked like a mugshot. I thought that
my gosh, I love that. The cat went to the DMV.
Yeah, that was good. And it was cute. And everyone looks cute sitting in a wicker basket. That was cute.
That was a good one.
We find out that Sam, played by Gregory Harrison, that he is considering retiring. And he and his wife are kind of like the stable relationship in Zachary's life. And so they have influence on him. And he tells Zachary that he's going to be retiring, and that he says, "Do you want to be chief?" And so they have a really nice relationship. And I would say that I think they have a nice chemistry as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that really passed over from the original, is their relationship is just fabulous. And I love the backstory of Sam saved his life as a teenager, and he's the reason he became a firefighter. He's the father figure. He talked him through all of the insecurities in both movies having to do with Marilee. And like you said, he's the stable relationship with his wife as well as with Zachary. He's the stable guy in Zachary's life. And so he's able to offer that stability on more than one level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/Hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
They talk about that there's a thing called a litter mate with cats, and that they become a bonded pair. And that was a cute theme throughout the movie.
Yes, I love that theme. I thought it was such a fun way to kind of tie in like the theme of the cats into the movie and make it like kind of this romantic thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. And they also have Sam's daughter is working at the firehouse, so that's kind of fun.
I thought that was a good touch. I thought that was a really good touch. Shows the passage of time and gets more of the family connection, gives Zachary a little sister basically. So yeah, I thought that was a really good touch.
Yeah, I did too. And they're working on renovating this antique fire truck. For
gosh. Oh, that was so touching. That was so touching. I don't know how they got it done in that tiny amount of time, but it's Hallmark.
Yeah.
Right.
People always do well.
Christmas miracle, Cammie.
It's a Christmas miracle with a very small deadline, you know.
So when they do the first kind of adoption event, we had a fun little cameo.
Yes.
From Paul Campbell.
A theme. I love it. Theme cameos in Hallmark Christmas movies. I love it.
Because of course Paul and Kimberly have now done 2 films together, and so they probably worked that out, and it was fun. I think it wasn't quite as fun as the Tyler one for some reason for me, but it was still fun. Did you enjoy that?
No, it wasn't as fun, but it was adorable, and it was something I wasn't expecting. I'm just like, wait a minute, that's you know.
Yeah, what do you think of that, Jess?
Well, I was behind in watching the movie. I wasn't watching it quite on par with the live, so it kind of got spoiled for me. I didn't get the element of surprise, but it was fun. I just kind of wish I hadn't known
Maybe
before I saw it. So I could be like, oh my gosh.
Maybe that's true for me as well. But it was still fun. And I'd encourage them to keep doing this.
Yes.
I know. It is such a cute idea. Because then you're always wondering who's gonna pop up.
Yeah.
Where are they gonna pop up?
Like
It's
Hallmark,
fun.
Where's Waldo?
It's where's the Hallmark star? Yeah.
Yes. And then I thought it was funny, the little scene where she's teaching him how to wrap presents. That made me laugh because we always ask on our fun, silly questions that we do. We ask, are you a good gift wrapper or not? So
Yeah.
it was kind of funny, I thought.
So that scene was completely inspired by the podcast, of course.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Of course. There was also the gratuitous Daisy sour cream product placement.
That was funny because I was like, why are they focusing on so detailed and then making this like cake thing? And then I saw the product placement shot and I'm like, oh, there it is. That's why.
That's why. The
Like,
cranberry sour cream fun cake. Why is that so important?
I'm like, Marilee's not really a baker. Why are we doing this? And it made me laugh. And I think that I said on Twitter, I said that I think that Daisy sour cream is the new Folgers. You know, they should always have like can of
Probably.
Folgers, like things. So they have not been subtle with the product placement this year at our channel. Yeah, and we do get a cute scene where they are they're at the grocery store together. There's a callback to the original.
Yeah.
And
I love that she still has the ice cream in the cart.
yeah, the giant.
She feels the need to kick it away.
And now he's been upgraded to superhero.
Right.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's because he played Superman, but I found that line hysterical. I found it absolutely hysterical because he's played a superhero multiple times. And so I just like, I find that funny.
It was cute. It was cute.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hearty, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
There's nothing a woman likes more than a man holding a cat, except a kitten. That was cute.
At the Cat Cafe.
Mm-hmm.
I love that they threw in Cat Cafe. Those are real. We have one in Indianapolis, and it's so much fun. You have like coffee on one side, and then you go into this room and you can go play with all the kittens, and they're all adoptable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had never heard of that until when our friend Amy was here for a visit. She went to a cat cafe here in Salt Lake. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no idea they existed.
No,
and of course, there's the whole something tells me it'll go over better if you suggest it.
Yeah.
That was funny.
So they have this brainstorming session at the firehouse, and then we get our big kiss.
Woo!
Which was pretty
good. Fire starting in the firehouse.
Yes.
The firefighters are already there, so all hands on deck.
Yeah. It was good.
Holy moly! Oh, wow.
So we're getting rid of some of the kittens, and we end up with Sam and his wife taking one or two. I can't remember. Two. I think two.
Two.
And she was allergic
I know.
in the first movie. So
Yeah,
she's
because that's why
definitely
he
gotten,
couldn't take Ambrose.
yeah. So she's got some good medicine now, I guess.
Yeah.
And so he tells Sam, he says, I made the biggest mistake of my life, letting her go. And he says, I've been married for 34 years happily. I wouldn't be either of those things if I didn't admit my mistakes. So that was a good moment.
And I mean, completely in character, very profound and incredibly true.
Yeah.
No relationship lasts if you don't admit to your mistakes.
That's right.
So then there's like a party, and I did think she looked beautiful. The green dress I thought was really really lovely. And then Miles shows up at the party, which is like classic Hallmark, of course. And then Zachary sees her with Miles.
Another classic Hallmark.
Yeah. He thinks that, although it was pretty clear that it was a goodbye to me, like it wasn't.
It's always clear to us.
Yeah. and then she calls him that night and says, "You set a really high bar," which was very sweet. Like, this is when it's starting to completely like win me over to the movie.
I mean, when she broke down in tears and said, "He's not you," I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a great moment.
What, Jess? What?
I know. I'm not a romantic, but if I was, I'd be a puddle.
For the firehouse kiss and these moments of romance. What?
It's a cat movie, Cammy. It made me weak.
Yes.
We're wearing you down, baby.
Just keep putting cats in movies.
I do I like the ending that they went with, but I do think it would have been really romantic if he would have just rushed right over there right after listening to that message. I think that would have been really good too.
Yeah, I remember having the exact same thought when he hung up the phone and was like, go. Yeah. What is your problem? Get up out of that chair.
And I love how both the cats had a role in the phone calls.
Yeah, it was cute. That was cute because she has Duchess now.
Who somehow was able to throw the phone.
Yeah, that's quite the bat there. You know?
Yeah. And so the next day they are together, and he says, "We're gonna go find a owner for Rudolph. It's the last one." And so she's driving in the fire truck and, saying all this stuff. And she's like, I might know someone else who wants to keep Rudolph, because she loves Rudolph. And she gets there, and it's a new house, and it has his last name on the mailbox. He's like, oh, this is your house. And he says, I feel happy when I'm around you. You set a high bar yourself. That was very cute. And he says, we are inseparable, like a bonded pair. I was bringing everything full circle. Very nice. And he says, would you adopt Rudolph with me? And puts the collar on.
The collar.
That was so cute. It was so cute.
So cute.
And then he ends with the big proposal.
And then he gives her a collar. A collar for her finger.
Yes. And it was very cute. And had this been a ring? Did he say that he'd had the ring before, or did he just happen to have it?
I don't think they said.
I don't think he had it for any significant amount of time. I think that's the first time you see it or hear about it.
So he asks, and they end with that proposal, and that was really lovely. And it did kind of win me over to the movie by the end, because you're happy to see them together and everything. So for me, it's not the plot that I would have picked, but it was still a sweet movie. I enjoyed it. And I don't know. Do you have any thoughts about the ending, Cammie?
Yeah, actually, the I always have thoughts.
Like it's Cammy.
But the way he was, number one, I think he drove that thing more than Sam did, and it was Sam's gift. But the way that he was describing the quote unquote couple that was going to adopt Rudolph, you know, it first he says it's not just a guy, it's a couple.
Yeah.
And are they married? Do they have kids? Not yet. You know, it was a really, really cute way to lead up to the proposal, because when he starts talking like that, you gotta know what's coming. You gotta know. And then of course, you know, he already had mentioned that he bought a new house and that he's renovating the kitchen, but all of those things were always temporary for him, which, you know, for a guy who doesn't like change, he changes houses a lot, but I guess that's, you know, there's stability in that lifestyle. You know, he
flips houses. It's kind of like a hobby.
Yeah. It's a side job. He flips houses. So
I was thinking that her friends are going to be really confused when they get a wedding invitation after just getting this Christmas card.
Oh, I know.
Like,
but the fact that his name was on the mailbox, it not only shows it not only tells her that it's his house, but it tells her that he's planting down roots. He wants things to be permanent.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. What do you think, Jess?
Do you have thoughts, Jess?
I do. I would say normally I actually don't care for a proposal at the end of the movie when they're not together for the entire movie, but this one worked for me.
Yeah,
I thought it was good. I thought it was really cute and sweet. And I mean, when you involve a kitten in a proposal, I mean, can you really say no?
Jess is gone.
Just saying.
Yeah, I know. I agree. I'm like not the biggest fan usually of ending with a proposal because they haven't like been together hardly at all. But in this case, of course, they had been together in the past, and so it worked for me. But yeah, I did. You know, was thinking, boy, when they get, because you figure they're going to get married pretty quick. I would think.
I hope so. It's been long enough.
They're probably gonna get married real quick, and then
see, we need a third movie of them being married and happy.
Yes,
please. This is what we need, so I can be fully satisfied.
Yeah, I think
not
so.
Them going through the beginnings of not them going through the beginnings of a divorce.
Oh, please.
Oh no, that would be terrible. But yeah, it was. I'm glad that they made it. I'm glad we have it. And it certainly wasn't like a train wreck or anything. Like, it was a cute movie. I enjoyed it. So I think they did a fun job. And yeah, hopefully maybe we'll get one more. That would be fun, but we might be pushing our luck with Hallmark and
I know
sequels.
It took forever to get this one. So
yeah. It'd be interesting to see how it did, you know, being on Thanksgiving. Obviously they had a lot of faith in it to put it as a Thanksgiving movie. So yeah. Well, let us know if you're listening what you thought of it. Did you like it? Were you disappointed? Let us know in the comments or on Twitter. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And Jess, how can people find you?
You can find me at Jess VSW blog on Instagram and Twitter.
Great. And Cammie, how can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Cammie Drama Girl.
And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all over social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So please take a look at that. And make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all over social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. We really, really need those right now, especially during the holidays. So please leave your 5-star reviews for us. We would appreciate it so, so much. We also have our merch store, which has tons of fun festive designs, and we would really appreciate your support there. And we have our Patreon group, which is a lot of fun. And we do watch alongs, and we have our Facebook group. And so please take a look. We sure appreciate that support so much. And thanks so much, ladies. This was fun to talk about the 9 Kittens of Christmas. And we will be able to enjoy the 10 Kittens of Christmas coming someday. But thanks so much, everybody. And we'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Merry Christmas.